Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to address a particular matter that's of concern to most Jamaican men in this country, and is a letter that was sent in by a lady. She was concerned about something that was going on with her brother, and she's so concerned to the point where she had decided to write in. Well, I'm not going to actually read the letter because it's a bit boring and convoluted. So I've made a note of the essential points, and I'm going to be just relating the situation to you, and then I give my piece. Now, this lady, she said that her brother owns a taxi, and he drive this taxi, he drive this vehicle as a taxi, and he picks up people here and there. One of the contracts he has is with a certain university in Jamaica. And while picking up people on that university campus, he actually met a lady, and they got into a relationship. And, after the first year, according to the sister, he started funding her education. He paid her school fees, bought her books. She didn't say under what circumstances he took on all of that, but basically he took it on. Everything concerning her education and maybe other things in her life, it was fell on to his pocket. So he funded her education. After about 2 years, she graduated. At the time she graduated, he was the one who paid for the graduation ceremony and the gown and the dress for the graduation ball and so on and so forth. Only to hear in the last half that the day before the graduation, it was said that there would not be any graduation ball. So, well, anyway, on the day of graduation, he came, watched her picked up her diploma or her degree, and then she decided to hang out with her friends. And the rest of family, his family who was there in support of her, they left, and she said she would meet up with him later or the following day. Basically, they did not live together, but she would spend like weekends or a week or two at his place, but she had her own place. She didn't really live with him, but she would spend time at his place. Anyway, she decided that she would meet up with him later in the night or maybe see him soon. But she never came the night. And the following day, what happened is that this same young man, he had a cousin who was worked for a catering company. And they had catered for a function that night. And when she went to that function and that night, she saw her cousin's girl sitting at a table with another guy wearing the same dress that he had bought for her. And she was there with somebody else at a ball that was not supposed to have happened because that ball, according to the young lady, had been cancelled. Well, the cousin, she took photos and she WhatsApped them or sent them by email, whatever, to the young lady who wrote the letter to the victims, I will refer to him as a victim, to the victim's brother. And she brought it to her brother's attention and said, listen, this is what's going on. Well, this same young lady, the guy's brother, she called this girl and said, listen, what's going on? You said you wasn't a ball and you went there and you met my brother come home and so on and so on. What you have to say about that? Well, she said the lady didn't take kindly to what was being said and sort of fob her off and hung up on her. Anyway, from that time, they have been trying to get in touch with her, and they can't get in touch with her. She has become very distant, and so on and so forth. This guy now, the victim, It has been several weeks and he had become very withdrawn. He had become distraught to the point where he doesn't even leave his house to go and run his taxi, you know. And she said that what is the main concern why she got in touch with me was because he actually is thinking, saying some things under his breath, which leave her to think that her brother might hurt this girl. And the last thing she wants is for her brother to go and hurt this girl. She don't want him to get in trouble, but at the same time, she's afraid of how he is. She's concerned about how he is taking this thing so hard, you know. So she wanted to see if there's anything I could say to him or anything I could advise her to do to, sort of get the situation to calm down a bit and so on and so forth. Well, basically my take on this thing, you see, let me tell you, and I'm going to address the guy directly. And I want you, young lady who wrote to me, I want you to take this video and go to the guy and make him watch the video and make him listen. This is a learning experience for him. Even though you write the letter, carry it and give him, because I him may address now. I may address all the other idiot them out there who do something like this. Let me tell you something. Guys, you have no obligation to educate any woman that you're in a relationship with. One, do not do it. Do not do it. No, before going any further, let me make a little disclaimer here. I am not saying blanketly that men should not educate a woman. You see, if you are rich and you have a lot of money and you have spare money that you would have given away to a charity or that you would have used for vacation or that you would have used for having fun, after all your bills and all your investments have been made and you have money set aside, then you can do that for a woman. You don't make sacrifices for a woman who you're in a relationship with. Not like that. What you're supposed to do is to look after yourself first. Because let me tell you, once you educate a woman, you promote a woman beyond your status, she's not coming back to you. There is no way on the face of this earth that a woman with a bachelor's degree is going to stay in a relationship with a taxi driver. It will never happen, has never happened, and will never happen. And if there's a case out there that I've never heard of, I want somebody to correct me on this. Once a man promotes a woman beyond his status, he has lost her. She's not coming back. Don't do it. Educate a woman as long as it is money that you're never going to need, that you're never going to call back on, and you write it off. Do not expect anything back from her after the education is done. So call it, you're giving charity, and if you can short it down to your tax expenses, then go ahead. But that is how you do it. Do not do it with any expectations, because you're going to fail. A wise philosopher once said, "Blessed is the man who expects nothing, because he will never be disappointed." And when you're sending a woman to school, do not expect anything back. Don't expect nothing. Just do it because you want to educate a woman and for her to better herself and better your country and the society, and you do that. That's quite fine. But once you're doing it and making a sacrifice, you're throwing money down the drain. As far as your future is concerned, of course you're doing something positive, but it's not going to benefit you. If you have to spend money on an education, on a tertiary education, spend it on yourself. And when you have your degree and is working, Then if she's still with you after all those years, spending on you and supporting you and spending money on you to get your education, then when you reach there and you get a job, then you fund her education. That's how it goes. Also, if in a case where say, well, you haven't got that academic brain, so you say you're going to push her, don't. Take that money, invest it in stocks, bonds, shares, invest it in property, invest it in something that is in your name that you are going to be able to get returns from somewhere in the future. You as a taxi man, what you should have even done was to have saved that money and use it to buy a second car that you give out. And when you buy a third car, after you have had those three cars, after a few years, because it may take you about 3 years to do that, then the monies that accrues from that after about 3 or 4 years, if she is still with you, then you can let her go and get her degree because you have set a foundation for yourself. But you can have a one car and you don't have no foundation and you can give a woman the firm foundation. Remember, when she gets that degree, you paid for it, but it's not your name on that degree. It's her name on it. That's hers. That's her life. Don't ever do it. The only woman you as a man supposed to educate, the only female, is your daughter. You're obligated to make sacrifices to educate your child, male or female. You are under absolutely no obligation whatsoever to make sacrifices for any woman's education ever. If you're going to do it, as I said, repeat, if you're going to do it, and it is not a sacrifice because you have excess cash that you was willing to give away or blow up on fun or blow up on vacations or cruises, and you would have blown it up, give that money to somebody to go to school, put it to good use, but only on that condition. Never, ever do it. So what I would say to you, a fool and his money will soon be parted. You are a fool and you have parted from your money. But here is the good thing about this. You have paid money. This is money well spent. The money I've spent on her, it is well spent. You know why? You have learned from this. You have paid maybe $2 million to learn a good lesson. And this lesson that you learn that costs that amount of money, it's a lesson that will take you through the rest of your life. So I'm sure this will never happen again. So put it this way, you spent 2 years going to school. The 2 years you spent money on her, that is 2 years you going to school. The day you graduate was the day she graduated. And the day you realize that reality is something else than what you thought it was. Now, having learned your lesson and paid good money for your lesson, move on. Just move on and realize that now you're a wiser man. It costs you a lot of money to become this wise. And when you spend this amount of money to become this wise, I'm sure you will never, ever lose that lesson. So all I can say to you, man, move on and just consider this money. You spent it for education. So the money is well spent and you have learned your lesson and you can only get better from here because you're now a stronger person and nobody can fool you again. Now that is education. So you got the education, just take it and cool and move on, yeah? You get over the hurt and the pain and so on and so on. So that's my advice to you and that's my advice to all men out there who will ever think about this. Don't even think about it. All right? So there you go. Now, I want you guys to, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell and then click all so that you will see all my posts when they come through. And of course, give us a like. I welcome your comment if there, as I said before, if there's anybody who have any situation that's different from the one I explained, where a woman has actually stayed with a man after a poor man, an ordinary guy, after she has her tertiary training, tell me about it. Tell me the case. I will certainly highlight it. I don't want it to look like I'm one-sided, but that's how it's looking right now based on all the cases I've seen in the past. So take care of yourself. Thanks for listening. And See you again soon in another segment of The Advisor.